In a hospital, Simon suddenly wakes up in bed and freaks out because he doesn't remember coming here. Dr. Newman calms him down and explains that last night, paramedics found Simon having choleric abdominal convulsions in front of his house. The hospital had to evacuate the contents of Simon's stomach. Newman is usually a pediatric doctor, but since the hospital is short-staffed, he's helping in the ER. He gives Simon a lollipop before telling him that he technically died. His heart stopped for nearly 2 minutes, but the doctors managed to bring him back. To check his memories, Simon tells Newman his personal information without issue. However, he struggles to remember the date and says that it's the year 2000. Newman asks him for his wife's name, but Newman doesn't understand. The doctor reveals that the year is actually 2002 and that Simon has a wife called Anna. Simon then begins remembering the night of the incident. He was lying on the road in the rain and the orderly Travis saved him. They took him to the hospital, where a team of doctors surrounded him. His heart suddenly stopped and the doctors started chest compressions while Simon's spirit floated out of his body to look at the scene. When the doctors used the defibrillator, his spirit was pulled back into his body. Hours later, when Simon was about to wake up, he overheard Nurse Clayton telling Newman that Simon was poisoned and it had to be reported to the police, but Newman wanted to run the tests first. In the present, Newman concludes that Simon has short-term amnesia since he can't remember the past 2 years. He assures him that his memory will slowly come back, but Simon still can't believe he has a wife. Moments later, a blonde woman appears in the room and rushes to hug Simon, relieved to find him alive and healthy. When she kisses him, he doesn't react, so she wonders what's wrong. An awkward Simon tells her about his memory issue, so the woman has a breakdown and says that she has nothing left before bursting out of the room. Simon immediately chases after her, but Travis and Newman stop him, saying that nobody left his room. When Simon asks Newman why he didn't tell his wife about the amnesia, Newman says he did. At that moment, his wife Anna appears next to them and hugs him in relief. Afterward, Newman uses a puzzle as a metaphor to guide Simon through his memories. Anna explains she wasn't with Newman last night. She was at home while he was in this neighborhood, but she doesn't know why. Simon theorizes he was visiting his brother Peter, who recently moved into their dead parents' house. However, Anna says that Peter died before Simon met her. He starts freaking out and Anna wants to comfort him, but Newman keeps her away. Then Simon says he was going to visit his brother last night, and Newman realizes he's talking about the last day he remembers from 2000. Flashes of memory show Simon hugging his brother, a car on the road at night, and Simon driving in the rain. He remembers seeing a bright light followed by an empty void, which makes him cry. Anna tells him that he was in a car accident before he met her, but she never learned the details. She only knew that he visited his brother, which was strange because the siblings hadn't talked to each other since they fought over their parents' estate. As they walk down the corridor, Simon sees Travis winking at him. Anna keeps talking, explaining that after the car accident, Simon was brought to this hospital too. She also tells him that he came to this town 2 days ago to close up his parents' house, which has been abandoned since Peter's death. His plans included packing up the furniture and fixing a few things. Newman points out that the fumes from certain cleaning products could have poisoned him. However, Simon has a vision of stairs and broken glass. After Newman leaves the room, Anna slaps Simon and tells him to stop pretending. Simon has no idea what she means and Anna says that Simon killed his brother. She also asks if she is really worth all this. Their conversation is interrupted when Travis enters the room, announcing it's time for another test. Anna uses the chance to leave. While Travis puts Simon in the MRI machine, he tells him there are rumors that somebody tried to kill him. Simon dismisses it, sharing the fumes theory. Travis says that everybody dies, but the why and the how are the biggest mysteries. Then Simon is left alone in the machine so the scan can begin. However, a mysterious man enters the room and gives him an injection. Simon can't move because he's strapped to the machine and screams for help, only to pass out. In the evening, Simon wakes up in bed screaming. Other patients in the room are staring at him and Travis calls him wacko. Dr. Truman enters the room and tries to calm him down as he asks what's going on. Simon tells him what happened in the MRI lab, but Truman says that he was admitted to this room last night. A very confused Simon asks about his wife and Newman, yet Truman explains he has no wife and there's no Newman on the staff. He also reveals that the car accident was last night and Simon had been unconscious until now. Simon runs out of the room and goes to the MRI lab, where he finds other doctors scanning an old lady. He keeps running around the hospital until Truman finds him in the cafe. When Simon asks what year it is, Truman answers 2000. Simon freaks out and swears he isn't crazy, so Truman theorizes that he heard things while he was unconscious and his mind came up with a story. For example, Travis could have inspired the name Travis, and Newman comes from Truman. At that moment, Clayton enters the room and Simon recognizes her from the 2002 hospital. She's soon followed by a second nurse who turns out to be Anna. Simon calls her by her name and asks her if she's been here the last 24 hours, but she says no and doesn't recognize him. Simon insists he was here yesterday and he wasn't dreaming before asking Anna to say that she knows him. Truman and Clayton push him down on the bed and give him another injection. As Simon tells them that they aren't real, he wakes up in the MRI machine. The stranger approaches him again and gets the syringe ready, but this time Simon screams as loud as possible and Newman and Clayton come to check on him. The stranger hides behind the door and Simon tells Newman about him, But the doctor doesn't believe him because his medicine is known for causing mild psychiatric side effects. After Clayton gives him more medicine to calm him down, she and Newman leave. Simon keeps kicking the machine until Clayton comes back. He tells her he's claustrophobic, so she agrees to free just one of his hands to shut him up. Simon immediately uses this hand to unstrap himself and rushes to look behind the door, but there's nothing there. Afterward, Simon returns to his room and confirms he's alone again. He tells Newman that someone tried to kill him, but Newman doesn't believe him and reminds him of the medicine's side effects. To calm Simon down, Newman shows him the security footage to prove that there was nobody else in the room with him. Travis thinks that the stranger is part of the shattered memories. Simon mentions Truman and Newman says it rings a bell. Then he mentions Travis and Travis tells him he's still in the hospital because he's been waiting for a heart transplant. Desperate for answers, Simon quickly runs to the other patients' rooms and finds Travis sleeping behind a plastic curtain. As Newman also comes in, Travis wakes up and asks for a cigarette, so Simon tells him that they talked 2 years ago. Those words make Travis remember him and he calls him wacko again. Simon tells Newman that this is proof that he isn't imagining things. Then Simon enters the elevator to return to his room. When the doors are about to close, the blonde woman runs to join him. He explains again that he can't remember her and asks her for some time, so she says that she can wait. Next, she tells him she loves him and kisses him, but they have to pull apart when another person enters the elevator. They wait awkwardly in silence until the man leaves, and Simon asks the woman how they could be together if he's married. She says she regrets nothing, and Simon realizes that Anna knows about this affair. The woman explains that he doesn't love Anna and promises to come back later. When she's about to leave, Simon grabs her hand and remembers that her name is Claire. Suddenly he's wearing nice clothes and he's standing in a house with Claire, telling her that he loves her. Simon has some weird visions about the plants in the room and Claire reappears with a flower behind her ear. They discuss if what they're doing is right and end up getting naughty on the couch, unaware that Simon's brother Peter can see them. At that moment, Simon reappears in the elevator and realizes he was just having a flashback. He tells Claire that he now remembers loving her and they hug. Claire wonders if they're paying for what happened before she leaves. Simon tries to follow her, but she's disappeared. When Simon returns to his room, he finds the other patients again and Travis confirms it's 2000. Then Truman brings Simon to his office to share some bad news. Peter was also in the accident, but he didn't survive. This triggers a memory of Simon and Peter standing near a cliff. Afterward, Simon returns to the room and Travis shares that he'll be operated on tomorrow, so he's scared he won't make it. Simon tells him that he's seen the future and assures him he'll be fine. Their philosophical talk is interrupted by Truman, who says that Peter's fiancée has come to see Simon. He goes to the cafe and is shocked to find Anna waiting, but she quickly clarifies she's just taking her break. She has some questions about the accident, however Clayton calls her back to work. After Anna leaves, Claire enters the cafe and reveals she's Peter's fiancée. Simon freaks out because he can't believe she's doing this to his brother. Claire says she wishes she could go back in time and change things, while Simon remembers reuniting with Peter with a hug. When he opens his eyes, Claire is gone and Anna is back. She pulls out a tape recorder and plays a recording of Peter's voice before his death. He said, "Simon did this to me, Simon killed me." Simon freaks out and refuses to believe it as he pushes Anna against a chair, wondering what she's trying to do. Anna starts talking about Simon's family money and a memory flash reveals that he marries her because she blackmails him. Anna gets affectionate and promises to see him more often from now on. When Anna leaves, Simon follows her, but crossing the door drops him on the driveway of his parents' house. Claire is in a car driving away. Simon watches her before entering the house, where he hears two voices arguing. He follows the sound until he sees himself and Peter arguing. When Peter tries to kick his brother out, past Simon refuses to leave and they end up fighting. In the struggle, past Simon pushes Peter through the glass ceiling. Current Simon goes to the roof to have a better view. His past self finds Peter unconscious on the floor covered in glass shards, so he starts dragging the body out. As a phone rings in the background, Simon watches his past self put Peter in the car and drive away. Suddenly the stranger appears behind Simon and tries to attack him. Simon immediately defends himself and loses his mind as he tells the man to stay away from him. He manages to steal the weapon and starts to repeatedly stab the attacker. Confusing memories flash in his mind before Simon reappears in the hospital room, killing his attacker on top of a bed. At that moment, Clayton enters the room and checks on the body, revealing that it's actually Travis. Simon screams because he refuses to believe he killed a friend, so Clayton runs away in fear. Then Simon looks at the body too and confirms he made a mistake, so he has a breakdown. The alarm then echoes in the building and Simon can hear security coming, so he rushes to the elevator. He comes out in the basement and sees the guards searching for him on the security cameras. He takes the stairs to look for an exit and accidentally bumps into Anna, who sees the bloodstains and concludes he's killed again. Simon pushes her against the wall and swears this isn't real, but Anna pushes him off and smacks her head on the wall. Two guards then appear in the corridor and Simon runs again, so a chase ensues. When Simon crosses a door, Travis stops him and Simon is shocked to find himself clean again. Travis tries to chat with him, but Simon quickly escapes by taking the stairs. He runs to Travis' room and is relieved to find him alive. Simon realizes he's been hallucinating things after all, so he asks Clayton to tell him about his brother's death. Suddenly Travis feels sick and throws up blood all over the curtains. Blood appears on his chest too, and Simon helps Clayton cover the wounds, which match the stabbing spots. As doctors enter the room to try to revive Travis, Simon steps back and snaps, screaming, "I killed him." Another flashback shows that Simon took Peter's body to the cliff in the car and moved him to the passenger's seat. Then he released the brake and the vehicle started to move. At that moment a truck appeared on the road, so Simon quickly got back in the car and stopped it. The truck stops nearby and the owners start getting dirty in it. Simon has no choice but to move Peter and drive away. In the present, Simon corners Clayton and forces her to talk. Clayton tells him that Peter was brought by the paramedics and was sent to surgery, but his injuries were so severe that he was put on life support. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. Their conversation is interrupted by Anna's arrival, and Simon notices that her wound from 2000 is appearing now on her forehead. Anna ignores it and asks him to come home, but Simon refuses to play her game and swears he'll change things. Then Simon goes to the cafe, but he's still in 2002. When he sees Newman's puzzle, he concentrates on the exercise and manages to reappear the night when his affair with Claire started. This time he turns Claire down before the naughty begins. However, Peter still hears her confess her love for his brother. Claire immediately runs after him, but Peter kicks her out, so she leaves in her car. A desperate Simon tries to tell Peter that nothing happened, but Peter refuses to listen and they fight again, ending with the same result. Ignoring the ringing phone, Simon drags Peter's unconscious body to his car to take him to the hospital. Soon it starts to rain and there's almost no visibility on the road. Simon drives carefully and manages to dodge a bunch of cars. However, Peter suddenly wakes up and Simon gets distracted, so his car ends up crashing into Claire's. Minutes later paramedics arrive and one of them looks like Anna. Claire is already dead, so the team concentrates on the brothers. Travis checks on Simon, matching the memory from earlier. Once the brothers recover, they get together to talk. Simon is still confused about what happened, so Peter tells him that the phone call had been from Claire. She regretted leaving them and turned the car around to return to the mansion, only to crash into the brothers' vehicle. Simon looks at a picture and notices that their father is Newman. He starts freaking out and Peter says that they all died, including Simon himself, so he needs to let go. Refusing to give up, Simon reappears on the road with Travis rescuing him. The hospital scene happens the same way. Simon's heart stops at 8 p.m., which matches the year 2000, and his death happens at 8:02, which matches 2002. His spirit watches everything from above and rushes to get back in the body. Simon then wakes up in the bedroom, hearing from the doctor that it's the year 2002, that he died, and that his wife Anna is waiting outside. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos.